Okay, eBomb Productions LLC bought a new computer system. To pay for the system, they borrowed $29,320 at 7.25% interest for 160 days. Find the interest owed, and we're going to use 365 days for a year. Ignore a leap year. Okay, so they borrowed 29,320. So that's the starting amount of the loan. So that's our principal. Principal is 29,320 at an interest rate 7.25% interest. And remember, this is simple interest, and we have to convert that to a decimal. We have to convert that to an actual number. So we could say interest rate. Well, the 1/4, since it's easier to convert decimals and decimals to percent and percent to decimals, let's use a decimal instead of the fraction. So instead of 7.25%, let's call that 7.25%. 1 divided by 4 is 0.25. Okay, so we convert that to a decimal. We'll have 0.0725. And they borrowed this money for 160 days. Okay, in the first video, the first two problems, time was given in terms of years. And then problems 3 and 4 in the previous video, time was given in terms of months. So we had to divide by 12 because there's 12 months in a year. Using that same approach, we have to divide by 365 because there's 365 days in a year. So the time is 160 out of the 365 days in the year, or 160 over 365. Okay, we have our formula for simple interest. Interest equals principal times rate times time. Okay, so interest is equal to $29,320, that's the principal, times the interest rate, which is 0.0725, times the amount of time in years, which when we convert the 160 days to years, we get 160 over 365. Okay. And the problem that we're trying to answer here, find the interest owed, not find the total amount, just what is the interest fee, what is the interest charge. So we're not going to have to add the interest to the original principal, we're just looking for interest. Okay, so let's plug this into our calculator. Let's clear that screen. 29,320 principal times the rate, which is 0.0725, times the fraction 160 over 365. Remember, fraction means division, so that's times 160 divided by 365. Okay, so that's 931.8136,986. 931.8136,986. Okay, so that's what the calculator is telling us. We have to always round to the nearest penny, which means round to 2 decimal places. Since this first number after the last place we're keeping, so the third decimal place, since that's a 3, we do not round up, and we keep 900 equals $931.81. All right, so let's do one more of these. All right, Carlo forgot to pay his $379 income tax on time. And the IRS charges this huge penalty of 21%. And that's the annual interest rate, 21% annually, for 67 days while the money was late. So I guess he paid it 67 days after the deadline. Find the total amount he owed after the interest penalty. And again, use 365 days for 1 year. All right, so he forgot to pay $379. So that was the starting amount that the penalty was charged on. Okay, so our principal amount is $379. The IRS is charging a penalty of 21%. So our interest rate is, well, we convert 21% to a decimal, divide by 100, that gives us 0.21. And the amount of time, just like problem number 5, time is given in days. We always have to convert to years. So our formula is only valid when time is in years. I equals P times R times T. P is in dollars, R is a decimal, and T is measured in years. Okay, so we'll take the 67 days out of the whole year, which is 365. Okay, let's plug this into our formula. Principal, 379, times the interest rate, which is 0.21, times the time, which is 67 over 365. Okay. So let's bring up the calculator. $379 times 0.21 times the fraction 67 over 365. So again, fraction means division. So times 67 divided by 365. Okay, so our interest is $14, well, 14.60967,123. $60967,123. Okay. Rounding to the nearest penny. The third decimal place, the first one that we're not keeping, is a 9, which means we round up so that that 0 rounds up to a 1. Okay, so our interest is $14.61. Okay, so going back to the original problem, find the total amount he owed. So after the interest was added to the $379 that he already owed, so he's got to pay $379 plus another $14.61. So the total amount will be $379 plus $14.61, for a grand total $393.61.